Everything is fine. You look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I have Miss Mann, who is a motivational speaker, a life coach. So I'm just getting ready to show a few introductory videos so Miss Mann can share with her family and friends. Hello, hello, and I want to thank you so much, Miss Mann, for joining me.
Well, thank you so much
Sorry,
for
have any
having me. I
comments?
appreciate it.
Okay. So, hello, Pan. Pan is from Greece. And hello, Black Girl Beauty. So, I'm ready to mute my mic. And
Hmm.
the show is going to be on Miss Mann. She's going to talk about what she does, and then I can share the show. Okay, go on. Let me mute my mic.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yvonne, the Motivator Man. I am the host of Determined Women of Destiny talk show, which is on YouTube. Please go to the channel, like, share, and subscribe. Season 5 is on the way, and it starts the second Sunday in April. So I hope to see all of you tune in to that show. My show highlights women that are doing extraordinary things. Last season was She's Extraordinary. This season is entitled She's a Game Changer. Every one of the women that will be interviewed will show you exactly how, not only in the face of COVID, but in the face of life's trials and tribulations, they were able to change the game and just make it work for them. I am also, if I didn't say already, motivational speaker. I am a life coach. I am a program facilitator and trainer. And I am just a woman that is destined to assist other women with reaching their goals and living their life, their dreams. That is just my sole passion. When people ask me, what is my why is that another 17-year-old girl doesn't wake up for the third time, shocked that this time suicide didn't work. That another young lady enters college, and because there's no one in her family, her close knit family that has gone to college, doesn't understand the process and drops out. That she doesn't fall in love with someone that she shouldn't, become a single mother, end up on social service, and has to fight her way out of a drug addiction. That is my why. So tonight I'm on here because, of course, Miss April has allowed me to have this platform just to talk about what I do and to answer any questions anyone may have in the realm of, hey, listen, I want to live my dreams. And what is the first thing that I would do? So to answer that question would be, as long as you know what your dream is, you can always obtain it. If you don't know what your dream is, I would tell you, ask your creator what you were created to do. And once you have that answer, then you can start putting things in place on how to live your dream, how to live the life you were created to live. Many of us are living really beneath our blessings. We just don't know what our purpose and the plan for our life is, and we end up just going in many different ways that is just not fruitful for us. Myself, it wasn't until I was 53 years old and a friend of mine, we cut out of work, literally. Someone wanted to interview her on a radio station. She didn't want to go alone, so she asked me to go. Both of us skipped work. We got to the radio station. I put the headphones on my ears, and for the first time, I heard my voice in my own ears, and I knew I was home. Before I left that radio station, I said, how can I do this? And of course, sometimes people don't want to give you access because sometimes people see exactly the gem that you are, and they don't want your light to shine. So I got a lot of him and a horan, and I don't know, and maybe not, but she tripped up and gave me the name of someone, and I was able to contact her, and that was my first time being on the radio. Mann is my ex-husband's last name, and it flows with Yvonne the Motivator Man. My maiden name is Poole. My name is Yvonne Y. Annette A. P. Poole. So as you see on the screen, it says I'm living the life that was prophesied for me. Yes, my father gave me a name that tells the world exactly what I am to do. Unfortunately for me, because yeah, is something to tease somebody about. Teachers and children alike always tease me about my last name, always tease me about my initials. So I never knew how impactful it was that my initials meant something. You know, even though YAP is for someone to talk excessively, and I always have, um, I was told as a child, sit down and shut up, you know, because I was always talking, always doing something. But those initials mapped out my life. And until, you know, God takes me home, I'll be behind the mic, I'll be on a stage, and I'll be talking to women about how to live their dream because it's very important. You don't want to get to the end of your life and look back and say, I wish I could have or I should have, and now you can't. I tell everybody, don't die thirsty. And people ask me, what do you mean by don't die thirsty? My father was rushed to the hospital on a Monday. We had no idea what was wrong. By Monday night, he had to have emergency surgery. Um, and before we left, he was asking my mother, can I have something to drink? I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. And they could only give him ice chips because he was going into surgery. And that wasn't good enough. He was thirsty. And I knew that the thirst that my father had was not in his body, but it was in his heart because he had so many dreams that he did not fulfill. And that was the thirst that he was unable to quench because the next day by 11 o'clock, he had transitioned from this world into where he would be for eternity. So I tell everybody, don't you dare die thirsty. Don't take your hopes and your dreams to the grave because it doesn't do anybody any good there. Well, you know, I could have said, who's going to listen to me talk? Trust and believe. Every time I open my mouth, somebody leaves with something because that's the gift God gave me. Well, who's really going to care about me making these cakes? Trust and believe you're going to make a cake for someone somewhere and they're going to be speaking your name. Who even cares that I can fry chicken? Huh? Well, there's a young man that I know that started putting Hennessy on those chicken wings, and he is now called on Long Island the king of the Henny wings. See, it's not about who's going to, it's about when are you going to? When are you going to step into the place that you're supposed to be and rightfully take ownership of your destiny? My favorite song right now I've been listening to, and I tell everyone to listen to it. It is Tina Campbell, Destiny. And it talks about how there is a place for you and you need to be there, and how we have to access that destiny that has been attached to our life. The word says that he knew you before he formed you in your mother's womb. And if my name doesn't let you know that that's true, nothing else will let you know that. My mom noticed my dad. My dad didn't even know she was alive. They were in junior high, high school. By time high school came, my mother was deeply in love with my father, and he kind of knew who she was because they lived very close together in Alabama. By the time it was graduation, my mom went to the prom with someone else, but by the time she was 19, she was married to my dad. My dad was shipped off to Korea and parts unknown. And she waited for him to come back, and they had a child, which is my older sister. Now, my mother and father separated and never to come back together again because they just had differences that were irreconcilable. Well, in 1960, they came back together and decided that they were going to work on this marriage, which lasted until the day he died, 48 years. In 1960, I was conceived. In 1961, I was born. So I say to you again, he knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb, which means that when you were formed in your mother's womb, also was your destiny. It was given to you before you even got there. So stop telling yourself, who am I to say that I can do? Or why should I even think I can? Because it was attached to you before you even knew who you were. Before I took at least 15 breaths, my life was destined for me, and so was yours. I want to ask the next question. So now I know what my dream is, or I have access to my dream, and I have a goal. How do I make it come to reality? Well, you have to give it a date, because a goal without a date is nothing but a dream, and dream is for those who sleep. So you have to give your goal a date. Okay, I want to write a book. When do you want that book written by? Oh, I want that book written in 6 months. Okay, give it a 6 month deadline. When do you want that book published? Well, it might take me a little time to publish it. I'll give myself 3 months to find how to publish that book. Okay, so now you've written the book in 6 months. 3 months later, you've published it. So that's 9 months. You still have 3 more months in that year. So, how are you going to sell that book? Okay, I'm going to give myself 3 months to learn how to market, sell, and start getting that book out there. So, what you're saying is that I'm going to give this goal a year. That's a short term goal. What's your long term goal? If by chance writing a book is what you want to do. Okay, my long term goal is I want to sell a certain amount of books. Well, how long is it going to take you to sell those books? You see where I'm going with this? There is a timeline to everything that you are supposed to do. And if you don't give it a timeline, then it's just going to sit there and you're going to die thirsty. And I'm hoping that I speak to you today so that you don't. Because the fullest place on this earth is a graveyard. Inventions are there, dreams are there, hopes are there. And we don't need them in the graveyard. We need them living with you. I heard Les Brown speak one time, and he said, do you know how mad that your dreams will be if you take them to the grave because nobody else can fulfill them but you? So, guess what? Now's the time to get it done because once you hear it, you are now responsible for it. You can never unhear it. So you can't ever say, well, maybe it's not for me to do it right now. If you're listening to me right now, I guarantee you the time for you to do it is absolutely right now. This is your time. This is your season. And do not sleep on it because there are areas in our life where the doors are wide open. And if you don't walk through it, it's not that you won't have the opportunity again. It's just that we don't know how long it's going to take for that opportunity to come back around again. So, okay, you may be 30 now and the door is wide open. That door may not open again until you're 50. Are you ready to give up 20 years? Because listen, I'm 60. I don't have 20 years to give up. I am working like a mad dog right now for all my dreams, hopes, and desires to come true. Because by the time I'm 80 in the next 20 years, I want to be just relaxing in it, just being able to just enjoy the fruits of 20 years later. Heck, in the next 5 years, I want to be relaxing in it. And I tell you, God will redeem the time. So don't say to yourself, I'm past time. Absolutely not. Underneath all of this, is half a gray hair. That's because I was crazy enough to dye it and I gotta wait for it now to grow back. But yeah, I'm a gray head sister. I'm 60 years old and I am just starting. I am starting to live. I am starting to just see my dreams come true. I am, getting my goals to where they're becoming achievements, and I'm beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I pray, that I get hundreds of mics, and my granddaughter's autistic. And I say, I want hundreds of mics, but I want her to have millions of mics because I know that she has something to say. Nothing can stop you unless you allow it to. Now, I have glasses on, so I can't even see all of these comments. So, Miss April, if you happen to see comments and people have questions, can you please just let me know so I can answer them? Because I could just run my mouth, but I'm not here to run my mouth. I'm here to give information and hopefully some assistance to your listeners.
Okay, so hold on. Let me go back. So we had Pan. Pan is my DJ friend from Greece. We
Okay.
have Black Girl Beauty, and then Keeping Up with Queen,
Okay.
and I Am Queen.
Okay.
Um,
Do we have any questions?
do we have any questions? Okay, Black Girl Beauty said, I'm unsure that I'm living the life I was created for." No, I don't know what that means.
I
Um,
do. I do.
okay, so you can answer it.
I'll speak to that. She says, I'm unsure if I'm living the life that I'm supposed to live. If you're asking that question, the chances are you have the answer to it. You know there's more to this life for you. You may say, I don't know how to obtain it, but you know there's more. So, what I will tell you again, contact your creator. You are our creation. Get involved with your creator. Get a good relationship. See, my creator is God. The name of my God is Jesus. I cry out to my creator and say, let me know what I'm supposed to do. When I wake up in the morning, 9 out of 10 times, one of the first things I say is, Lord, let me do what you want me to do. Let me go where you want me to go. Let me meet who you want me to meet. And let me say what you want me to say. Because this gift is not mine, it is his. And he just allowed me to have it for a moment. What's your gift? And if you need more assistance, you will be able, at the end, I will give you information and I will definitely love to walk you through your process because I always say, you say you can, I say you can. Give me 30 minutes together. We will develop a plan, a blueprint for your success. So I say to you, don't lose sleep over it, but definitely keep it in your prayers. What am I supposed to do? If this is not the life I'm supposed to live, what life am I supposed to live? How am I going to get there? And most importantly, are there people attached to this gift, attached to my life that are to help me to do this? I went on a Black Podcasters Network. That's how I met Miss April.
Yes,
I didn't even know there was Black Podcasters Network. One day I'm on Facebook flipping through, I see it, I go on there and I meet her, and now I'm on her show and I get to talk to all of you.
yes.
So she
And
was
you
one of
know,
the.
Miss Man, I have something I want to say. Like, I'm turning 60 this year too.
Mhm.
And it's like we've gone through so much. And me personally, because I always ask God I, about everything too. I pray about everything I do now. And it's like it's our duty to go back and teach the young people things that we weren't taught and things that you could achieve because way back then, generations, they were tired. They were scared to go out and try to own their own businesses, try to write their own books. And we can tell them that, hey, you can do anything, anything that you want to do.
And you
The
see,
world is yours.
our forefathers, they weren't scared to start businesses and write books. But what happened is they burnt down our businesses. They kept our books from being printed. So instead of us saying we want to work for ourselves, just to be able for us not to die, we had to work for someone else. When you go to any other country, entrepreneurship is taught from the womb. I went to Africa, and I tell you, they work Sunday to Sunday. The only time they're not working is when they're in church. And when they come out of church, they're right back at work again. Their work ethic is crazy. They're called a third world, but there's nobody on social service. Everybody's working. From the little boy that's selling you those little black combs that can't even comb through my hair. And I said to him, I said, I can't use it on my hair. He said, come, come, come now, ma'am. I did not ask you if you could use it on your hair. I am saying, would you like to buy a comb? This is what I do. I sell combs. Now, the conversation is, are you going to buy this comb for $1.25 American US dollars, or are you going to keep walking? Because I need to make a sale today. I pulled out my CFS, which is their money. I gave him the amount. He thanked me, and I left with a comb I couldn't even use. But he was a good salesperson. He wouldn't let me leave until he closed the deal. He knew I'd feel sorry for him as a little kid. And he made it known, listen, I'm out here selling this comb. I don't care if you can't use it. If you can't use it, keep moving, lady, because there's other people that can use it. This was a
Oh
kid.
yeah,
This was a
yeah.
kid. You speak to our kids now and you ask them what they want to be, and it's all connected to working for someone else. We don't even teach our children about financial wealth. We don't
Oh,
have generational
true,
wealth
true.
because we spend every dime we get because we have to. I was listening to a podcast, and it was Hornblower, which is from the Vanderbilt family. And he's got to be like around in his late 30s now. And he was taught that if you have $100, you save 50. And he said, no, you have $100, you split it in half and you put 50 to the side and you put 50 in savings. You never touch the 50 in savings. You take the 50 that you have in your hand, you cut it in half again. So now you have $25 and you put that into investment. You have $25 left. You take 10% of your $25, and that's what you deal with, the $2.50. Now you subtract that from that $25, and that's what you diversify. So when they say old money, the reason why it's old is because the first dollar invested is still sitting there. Because when you put it in the bank, you don't touch it. You just add to it. And it gains interest and it sits there. So that's the reason why Hilton will always have money. Hornblower will always have money. The Vanderbilts will always have money. But the Pools and the Manns may not, because we don't have the concept of that. Well, I don't make enough money to save. If you make $1, you do have 50 cents. You have a quarter. You have 5 cents. We have to learn as a people to save. If you show me a person whose their money is out of control, I'll show you a person whose spirit is out of control. And their spirit is out of control because they don't know what their destiny or their purpose is. All of it is aligned. You have your mental, you have your physical, you have your intellectual, and you have your financial. You have four quadrants in your life that have to work together. And if they don't, your whole life cycle is off. You cannot be a rich person and your spirit is crazy. You cannot
Oh,
be fully intact and your spirit and you're fully intact spiritually and your money is crazy. You see what I'm
that
saying?
is
It's
the
all,
truth.
you cannot be mentally disturbed and your emotional realm, but intellectually you're at 100%. Absolutely not. All of them have to work at 100%. And if you're not working at 100%, then you got to strive for it to happen because you're not going to be able to live your dreams. I see there's a question down here. Okay,
Ricky C
Ricky
says
says
we
you
can't teach
can't teach
what
what
we
you
don't
don't
know.
know. Absolutely, Ricky. And what I say to you is take some literacy courses. There are so many consultants out here, financial literacy consultants. Sit down with someone, let them teach you about money, and then you will learn what to do with your money so that your children and your children's children and your children's children will also have the benefit of that. So, we say a lot of times that, well, I don't know. And I said to a young person, this technology, I don't get it. You guys were raised in the age of technology. People my age just doesn't get it. And that kid turned around and looked at me and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, it was your generation that developed technology." No longer an excuse. So now I dive in and I make myself know what I'm saying that I don't know, because I don't have an excuse anymore. So, Ricky, you don't have an excuse anymore. And if you want information, I can put in the chat how to contact me. And I have someone who does financial literacy. She would be more than happy to work with you to get you where you need to be financially. So this way you don't have to keep tossing and turning in your sleep. And I get it. This is the first time in my life that I've had a credit score over 700. I haven't had so many offers from credit card companies and car companies in my life. And it really feels good to know that I don't have to pay a high interest rate anymore just to get what I want. I don't have to pay $10,000 over what it was worth just because my credit was horrible. So yeah, I totally understand. I'm gonna put in the chat right now. Excuse the glare on my glasses. I'm trying to. And so if you go into the chat, I'm going to tell you how you can contact me. I'm giving you my email address. And just tell me that you were checking out the show and you need that information, and I will send it over to you as soon as possible. And I will also add you, I'm going to tell you, to my email list, because my newsletter will start going out, and all these little tidbits I'm talking about with you right now, you can get, and then more. And now you have a way to ask me questions. Ty, thank you. Hello to you also. If there's anybody else I didn't greet, forgive me. Like I said, I have on glasses, I have the lights in front of me, and it's just not, this screen just isn't working with me. But if there's any more questions that I miss, Miss April, please let me know.
Okay. Did anyone else have any questions that they wanted to ask? That, and also that is her email address that I posted. Uh, okay. Black girl, can you read? Can you see what's on her?
I sometimes believe, okay. No, 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 Black Girl Beauty. You did not forfeit it, and you didn't miss it. You didn't miss your blessing. What happened was you did make some choices that you shouldn't have made. I mean, you just heard me say, starting from 17, the person I was talking about was myself. By the time I was 17, I had tried to commit suicide 3 times already. I started college and dropped out because I didn't know what the heck this was. I end up meeting somebody that I thought I loved, got pregnant, had a baby, had a horrible divorce. So that story right there will lead you to believe this woman's not going to ever do anything. Okay. Had a horrible drug issue, was on social service for a minute, mentally messed up. And when I rededicated my life to Christ, everything started falling back in place. I believe it's not about religion, it's about a relationship. And that relationship helped me turn my whole entire life around. And when I tell you that in prayer, the things that I am given blows my mind away. As I'm sitting here talking to you right now, I'm in awe. because this is not Yvonne. This is the gift that has been given to Yvonne. Because if Yvonne in her own stead was talking, would never be able to give you all of this. So I just bless God. But do not think that you have missed it. Honey, you are standing in the position to be taken over like a tsunami with blessings. I'm telling you, I need you, please, to contact me by email. I want to work with you. Just the fact that you're saying you think you missed it lets me know you absolutely did not. You are right where you're supposed to be for that blessing. And if you don't know what a tsunami is, I need you to Google what a tsunami is, because I'm looking dead in this camera and I'm telling you, with everything inside of me, the blessings are going to overtake you like a tsunami. Now, a tsunami usually doesn't level land, it can take out a whole city. When that water hits and it flows over everything, when it flows back out, it takes everything with it. So all of that mess that was in your life, that tsunami is going to take it out with it. It's going to level that playing field. And see, I'm from the South, baby. If our crops ain't growing, we going to scorch the earth. We're going to burn the yard. And we're going to let all of that sit in the earth. The nutrients, go in the earth sucks it up. And then like 3 or 4 years, possibly 5 years later, we turn that earth over, we replant, and those crops are the best crops we ever had. Yes, you might have to wait a little bit, but it's coming. It's coming. It is coming. Absolutely coming. It's going to happen. So you hold on and you make sure that you stay in position. Don't you move from where you are now. You stay in position and you keep talking to the Lord and saying, hey, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? And guaranteed you will be led there. Every Monday, I put on Facebook and sometimes in just Instagram, but TikTok, my Monday motivation. And this Monday, I talked about fear and its false emotions attacking reality, because most of us don't go forward because we're fearful. We're scared of what's going to happen. Well, if what's going on right now is not good, it can't get any worse. You know, if you're at the bottom and you're scared of going to the top, how far can you go? You're already at rock bottom. So just start climbing up. Oh, what if I fall? Well, you were already at the bottom, weren't you? So you've been there before. You have a template. So you know what to do while you're down there, and you just start climbing again. And what's going to happen is the more you climb, the closer you're going to get to the top. And every time you get to the spot where you fall, you're like, okay, I fell this time because of what? Oh, that one piece in the ladder is a little raggedy. So, when you get to that ladder again and you get to that spot, you step over that. Because if you don't, you're going to fall. See, the good thing about failing is it gives you a template to your success. Okay, you write that down. Failure gives you a template to your success, because now you know what not to do. Case in point, this is for my women. How many times you've been in a relationship with a guy and you felt like you lost yourself? But what you said was the wrong thing. Oh, ain't nobody ever gonna get me to that point again. No, 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 no. It's not that nobody's ever going to get you to that point again. You're never going to be that person again. Why? Because you learn from your past mistakes. Your failure is your blueprint to your success. So your next relationship, you are able now to have a more positive relationship because you looked at what happened at your last relationship. When you start feeling that this new relationship is going in that position, you can look at how you dealt with it last time. And it may be that you have to leave that relationship or open the doors of communication. Hey, listen, I think ABCDEFG is going on. Am I not right? And if I am, let's discuss this, because this isn't healthy for our relationship. Communication with God, communication with yourself, communication with your mate, and communication with the world will keep you a happy, happy person. Do I have any more questions? Miss April, do you see any more questions?
I said we have a person,
Mhm.
DJ Spider-Man, who is my co-host, and he has joined the panel, and I think he wants to ask you a few questions. So, go ahead, DJ Spider-Man.
Well, good evening, ladies. I hope you all having a blessed day.
Good evening.
We are.
I got a question for you.
Mhm.
So I'm taking that you're a very spiritual person. How did you get to be spiritual? What led you to the spirituality of finding your spirit?
Well, I'm smiling because I always say my mama was Baptist all the way back to John the Baptist. I was a kid that was birthed in the pews. My mother carried me in church. I grew up knowing nothing in my household other than Jesus and Him alone 24/7. My mother used to pray from 7 o'clock until 8. And for those of you that are a certain age in New York, we had our gospel station, which was WWRL. Now, from 7 to 8, it played R&B. That's the only time during the day. My mom would be praying, and me and my sister would be at the radio like this with the radio down real low so we could hear it. So I was raised in this. Now, as I got older, yes, I did drift away. And what brought me back was a drug addiction that could have uh, definitely taken my life. And I had a flashback because if people haven't uh, dealt with drugs, drugs will give you flashbacks, like moments that flash before you. And I saw my daughter looking at me with discontent. And my daughter at the time was 5 years old. And I knew that I never wanted to have my daughter look at me in a way of embarrassment or discontent, knowing that I was the only parent that she had. And it was my only responsibility to make sure that she had a life that she deserved. So I turned to God and I prayed and I asked that He would deliver me from this drug addiction. I was a weekend warrior. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and then no Sunday. Usually around the afternoon, I was sober because I had to do my daughter's hair for school. I had to get ready for work and all of that. Um, but I prayed over and over and over again, and still kept getting high Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it was Christmas of 1991, and I wrote God a letter. And I specifically said to him, I know I can no longer be on the fence. I can't say that I love you and keep doing what I'm doing. So, God, give me the strength to be the woman you want me to be. And Christmas, I flushed down half an 8 ball down the toilet. And that New Year's, I went out with my sister and I wasn't drinking. And all I could say was, how do y'all do this sober? And that's when my sister realized, oh my God, you really have a problem. Because I didn't know what it was to live life sober. I always had some type of substance. So, to answer your question, how I was able to connect with God, my mom raised me in it. So I knew the word. So I knew at my darkest time, all I had to do was go to God and He would direct me out of what I was in. And He has always been faithful. Right now, I'm going through a little hell. And I just stand on Psalms 46 and 5. He dwells in the midst of her. She shall not fall. He will rescue her, and that right early. Period. That's it. You know, my faith is solid. God has me. He always has. His word says, I will never leave you or forsake you, even until the ends of the earth. So He got me. I just I I just stand in that. So DJ, did I happen to answer your question?
Yes, ma'am, you did.
Okay.
I got another question for you.
Okay.
I heard you say that you prayed and you prayed and you prayed.
Hmm.
People don't understand about prayers, but anyway,
Yeah.
I heard you say you prayed.
Mm-hmm.
So after all the praying that you did,
Yes.
when did you come to believe? There's a difference. People don't understand this.
Right.
When did you come to believe that you can make a difference by surrendering?
When I flushed that half eight ball down the toilet, I made a stand, and
Oh yes,
all the hell
flushing the half
knew
an
it.
8 ball. That was the biggest thing.
Yeah. See,
Yes, honey, I know.
yeah. I let all of hell know at that time. You got a problem coming right about now. I made a stand and I flushed it, and I said, "Yeah, this is it. I'm done." I was tired of not waking up on Christmas with my daughter. So
Mm-hmm.
my daughter was 7 years old before I woke up on Christmas morning and opened gifts. And I'm sitting there with tears in my eyes. She's like, "What's the matter, mommy?" I said, "It's a Merry Christmas, baby. It's a Merry Christmas."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, me personally, my first time meeting you, I want to say to you, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you because a lot of times we let our "oh woe is me" attitude continue to dictate our tomorrow. So, as a man saying to a woman, I'm proud of you for making that change, taking that step, and realizing that you weren't by yourself. You weren't in it by yourself. So
No.
I'm proud of you.
And I thank you for that. I thank you. I'm just happy that um, I remembered. Well, I'm blessed that my mother raised me in such a way that I knew the Word of God. And from a little girl, I always felt the presence of God. But you don't know how to tell people, and people think you crazy. And I was a bad kid, so they just thought I was bad. I was running my mouth. But I'm really glad that I was raised in that, and I was saturated in that. So when I got to the point where I knew nothing else, all I could do was just cry out, "Jesus, help me, help me, help me. I need it. I need it." And he answered, and I bless his holy name. I am so blessed. When people always ask me, "Oh, is your business faith based?" I tell them I'm based in faith. So you take it from there. I can only give you what I have, and that's what's in me. That's what's in me.
Yeah.
And Ty, I thank you, Ty. Ty says yes. Good for you. Thank you, Ty.
So do you follow any African values?
Um, it's not so much that I follow African values. I am very much aware of the ancestral,
Okay.
um, dedication and the worship thereof. I myself don't do it, um, but I am aware of it. I do know it, and I do know if it wasn't for my forefathers and foremothers, I could not sit here and speak to you candidly because
Right.
it was them who paved the way for me. I remember being a teenager and saying, "Hey, listen, if I was a slave, I would have been Nat Turner." And now that I'm older, I'm
Right.
like, I am so glad that I wasn't a slave
Right.
because being a Nat Turner took a whole lot more than what people knew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't for our ancestors, we wouldn't be able to sit here, you
Exactly.
know. But do I follow? Do I worship? No, I do not. No. The only thing that I follow is the word of God, and the only thing I worship is Jesus and Him alone. That's just for me, um, and that's where I get my strength from. That's where I'm able to do what I do. That's where I can stand on the fact that I know that my autistic granddaughter will not always be autistic, and that she will beat the odds because it's that faith that I have. Because God's track record is 100%. I've never seen Him fail. I have never, ever, ever seen Him fail.
I agree with you 100%. And to touch on what you just said, people don't understand either. Uh, I hope this don't rub people the wrong way, but some people that's faith based,
Mm-hmm.
um, their actions is totally different from what they're trying to portray,
Come on here.
and
Come
they
on
want
here.
and they're wondering why the
Mm-hmm.
blessing's not coming.
See, you want to say that gingerly because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. How many times have you heard, I love your Christ, it's your Christian I can't take?
Uh-huh.
See, when you see a Muslim woman, you know she's Muslim. How? Because of the way she's dressed. She
Uh,
hasn't opened up her mouth at all.
right.
And you give her respect because you respect her that she has shown that she's a Muslim woman. Now, we don't know what she lives or what she does, it's just her garb, right?
Right. Right.
So the Bible says that they will know you by your conversation. Now, this is the King James Version. Now, the way it was written, conversation isn't what you say, conversation is how you live because your life speaks for you. So they're supposed to know us as Christians by our conversation, by our life. And the reason why we can't tell nobody about Christ, because they don't see Christ in us.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. And,
my I was just recently in a woman's meeting, and the woman discussed how we are carriers of His glory. Now, when you think of that, your whole life changes. Because if you're a carrier of His glory and you go into the store and they shortchange you, you don't go back there and say, "What's wrong with you? I gave you $20. It only cost $1. I'm supposed to get $19 back, and you gave me 17. You better give me my money." Nope. When you're a carrier of the glory, you go back and say, "Baby, I gave you $20. It was $1. I'm supposed to have 19. This is what you gave me back. Can you please rectify this for me?"
uh-huh.
you know and it all depends on how you interact with it. Right now, like I said, I'm going through a struggle, and the struggles with some other people too, and they said, well, if A, B, C, or D happens, this is what I'm going to do. And I fell in line with them. I said, I'm going to say this, I'm going to do this. And God spoke to my spirit, and God said, the only thing you're going to say is thank you and leave. Now, when somebody's doing something to you, the last thing you want to say is thank you and leave. But when I say thank you and leave, that person can talk and say whatever they want to. I walk away with a clean slate and a clean spirit because all I said was thank you and I left.
Uh-huh.
And I get to walk straight into the blessing that God has for me. Now, being the personality that I am, I said to God, you never let me have any fun. You know they got a right to get this tongue, Father, but I'm going to do what you say. And I'm going to say thank you and I'm going to leave. I just want you to know I'm going in my car and I'm crying, Lord, because there's so much more I want to say. And, that's what this life is. Sometimes you do get to say what you want to say. And then there's sometimes, you don't. Because guess
Uh-huh.
what? If God is taking you from this one place and this is mess, and He's taking you here and this is the blessing, who even cares what happens here? You're going here. Where am I at?
Uh-huh.
Here, going here. So who even cares? Just get to where you need to go and just get blessed and just be a blessing to others.
Yep, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, Michelle Jordan says, thank God my family was praying for me until I could pray for myself. I would have never made it without their prayers. Absolutely. I know I'm living on the prayers of my mom, and I know my grandmother. My grandmother passed 2 years ago. It'll be, yeah, March 19th. She passed. She was 104 years old.
Wow.
And that woman, to the day she died, all she talked about was her God. And whenever I would go see her, we from the South, so we country. Vaughn, she would say, wherever you go, she grabbed my hand. You take God with you. And I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I always take God with me. Um, and until the day she died, that's what she talked about, the God that she loved. And though I miss her, because I mean, having your grandmother that long, you never think you're going to live life without her.
Right.
But I do know that if there's anybody in heaven, my grandma's there. And I want to be there just so I can hang out with her again because that was my partner in crime. Uh, Going to Georgiana, Alabama, feeding the chickens. I wish my sister was on because my sister would say, "No, Yvonne, you riled up the chickens. So when I fed them, they attacked me." But, drawing water from the well. And you say to yourself, well, why was that important? Well, when I went to Jamaica on the mission field with my church, it was well water. And nobody knew how to draw water from the well. So everybody's like, oh my God, how are we going to get water? Oh, I'm so thirsty. I'm like, move out of my way. I grabbed that thing, put that 1 foot back, hauled that. And it was like, my grandmother had a well. Who knew when my grandfather put that step in front of that well so I wouldn't fall in at like 6 and 7 years old, that when I went to a country that had a well, I would be able to go back to that point and bring back what I knew. Everything in life is a learning process. Everything is a learning process. So don't think that what you're going through is for nothing. Black Girl Beauty, you talked about missing it. Nope. Guaranteed, this is your book. This is your book. Everything that you think you missed, that's your book.
Um, I have a question to ask. Like, I'm one of these type of ladies now because
Mhm.
I've gotten to be 59 and I will be 60. And I just don't have time for a lot of mess in my life. So is it right for me to have the attitude like once you show me some BS or something ain't right, and then I try to come to you as a woman and talk to you, and you refuse. You say there's no problem, but yet there is a problem because you've done some shady stuff to me. So they say it's not a problem, but I'm knowing it's a problem because you done did something shady. They don't own up to their stuff. So I cut them off.
Mhm.
Like, bye, see you, wouldn't want to be you. Is
Bye,
that the right
Felicia.
attitude to have?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. Um, the word says love thy neighbor. It doesn't say like. Because if we had to like some folks, there'd be blood running in the streets every day. Yeah. And just because you forgive someone doesn't mean that y'all have to go back out to dinner or you have to go shopping. You forgive them is that I'm not going to hold it against you, but I know that you're dangerous, so I'm just going to deal with you from a distance. I'm gonna love you from a distance, and cutting people off. I'm not a fan of it. What I mean by that is, it's not that I haven't removed people from my life. Um, I just know that people will come back and they will need you. You know what I mean? They will need you. So if you've cut them off that much, you're not able to give them help. And I'll give you an example. A girlfriend of mine back in the day was, hooked on crack, did some stuff she had no business, like we all have. But she's married with children, a woman of God, and probably preaching. I haven't seen her in a while. So somebody brought up her past, and I said, first of all, she's not here to defend herself. So you're wrong. Second of all, that's what she used to do. She's a woman of God. She's living for God right now. And they were like, oh, yeah, but I said, I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to cut you down. You cannot continue to do this. Now, me and this person hasn't talked for years because she hurt my feelings. We tried to reconnect. It didn't work. And I love her. And if she needed anything, I'm here for her. but I'm not going to interact with her because it's just too messy. So it's not a cutoff, it's a back away. And you see, when you back away and you stay away from all that mess, first, it gives you the ability to have peace. Second, it gives you the ability to have a clean spirit because I didn't do anything against you. And three, if they need you, your heart is still open to help them. When you cut somebody off, they bleed in the street, you stepping right over them. Up, look like you got some blood on you, bro. Sorry about that. But if you just remove yourself, it's different. And I tell you, no matter how horrible someone is, everybody needs somebody. And if it has to be you and me, then it has to be you and me. Everybody says, oh, well, why would you do that? You're a fool. I don't look at it that way. Snoop tells the story about him and Tupac. We ran into Nas. And he says, Nas had people, but he didn't have people. And Pac was all up in his face. And all Nas did was like, I love your music, I love you, and hugged him. So he said, yeah, I just punked him. And Snoop said, nah, he just gave you a pass. And what Snoop was saying is that the people in the room that was there for Nas, they couldn't see it. Because basically all Nas had to do was raise his hand and bullets would have flew. Only people was there for Pac and Snoop was Pac and Snoop. They didn't have any backup.
Mm-hmm.
And because Nas just removed himself from all of that mess with Pac and Snoop, to this day, Snoop speaks about Nas in a very loving way. He has
Right.
never dissed. He never forgot that interaction. Mind you, I'm quite sure Nas wanted to take that head off because that mess he said in that record was absolutely ridiculous and uncalled for. But instead, Nas just backed away from the mess. So I say to you, back away from the mess and leave yourself open that if she needs you, your heart isn't hardened.
Right.
Yeah, your heart isn't hardened. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm so is the cutoff, is it good or is it bad?
It's not good or it's not bad. Like I say again, a cutoff keeps your heart hard. A back away keeps your heart soft. As men and women of God, we want a soft heart because you never know when God wants to use you.
Hmm.
And
Well,
you
now
never
you got
know.
me. Now
You
I
never,
got to think about some things now.
yeah. Yeah, and you never know how God is going to use what you do.
Okay.
We ourselves don't want to do it. I didn't want to hug a girl one time. I had an MC, a Sweet 16. One of the girls there, I really wasn't feeling her. She had talked some stuff, did some stuff, but we're in church together. I took a hit. I let God deal with me. I kept it moving. I walked past her probably 2 or 3 times. The guy said, hug her. I was like, seriously? I looked right up. Lord, who, me? And I went and I hugged her and I realized she was half her size. I didn't know that cancer was eating her alive. If I had not listened and went over there and hugged her, that woman would have died and I would have never forgiven myself. So for that brief moment that I went to hug her and I was obedient, it wasn't for her. God didn't want me to have to feel bad about an action that didn't have to happen. Now that doesn't happen all the time. There's been times I'm like, nope, I'm gonna do it my way. And trust me, I have been sick for it. Absolutely sick for it. But to answer your question, I would say step away and not cut away. Because you could be the key to that person's deliverance or that person's blessing. And you're never as blessed when you're a blessing for someone else. So don't block your blessings by cutting them off. God sees. If she did some shady stuff, you think you just now telling God about it? He know. He absolutely knows.
Wow. A lot to think about. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Listen, it's
Yeah,
a
and
journey out here.
I am checkable, and I do take things to heart what people tell me. I'm not the type of person that you can't talk to me, but I don't like, if I call a person and I ask them if there's a problem and they say no, but then you act shady still. So
Well, the reason why they say no is because they do not want to be held responsible. Because if there's a problem, we all know that there's just not a problem with one person. If there's a problem between two people came together and made a issue. So if you're saying if there's a problem, let's talk about it, that means now I have to be responsible for my actions. I don't want to be responsible for my part in this. Hey, guess what? No, we don't have any issues, but they still acting stinky. Right. Because they know their part in this play. Because we're all players in this play here. So
right,
they know their part they're playing. And now that you brought it to the forefront means, oh man, now she knows the part I'm playing. I'm gonna have to explain my actions, and I don't want to. So no, we don't have a problem.
ooh, you preaching, honey. You is preaching tonight.
This,
You gave her the rose, Spidey.
Mm-hmm.
Rose and the crown. She already wearing her crown.
thank
Mm-hmm.
you. But no,
Yeah,
this just comes from life's work. Just working on Yvonne. There's so many places in my life that I had a deficit and may still have a deficit, and I just had to learn along the way. I tell God all the time, thank you for allowing me to get to where I am now, because I'm learning so much about interacting with people. You know, and to be a life coach, you have to be able to understand folks, and you have to understand yourself because, hate to tell you, we ain't as different as we think we are. And Ty says it's easy to say no. You're right, Ty, but sometimes it's not easy to take the repercussions that come from it. So you can say a no, and it satisfies you, and you piss somebody off, and now you have to deal with that mess from them when you don't have to say yes or no. You can just move away. I am a firm believer in moving away. When you have come to the end of the road with me, because I will move away. I am not accessible anymore. See, everybody doesn't have access. And that's what Ty is saying. It's easy to say no. We cannot give everybody access. Um, the Queen of England don't let everybody go into that castle. You see Harry and Meghan done left, right?
yeah,
Okay. Because the access that was granted, they didn't want it anymore because it comes with something. And you're right, Ty. No, you're not, but with no, you're not held accountable. Okay.
right. And so yeah, and I'm understanding a few situations
Yeah.
I've had now in the past. People they don't want to stand accountable for their behavior. So that's why they don't want to talk to you when you come to them and say, is there a problem? They don't want to be held accountable for their behavior and what they did.
And do you
So
know you
I can
only
I can still love them from a distance. I don't hate them.
Mhm.
I mean, if they called me up, if they come, even if they come in the shows, I would still talk to them. But I'm just not going around you anymore for you to disrespect me anymore.
right, but you're only accountable for your actions, not somebody else's.
Right.
you
Okay.
know and that and Ty, I agree with you, because when you say no, no more, if that's what you're saying, Ty, If you're saying no, no more, right? Um, you're accountable for your action. Now, if they want to keep acting crazy, that has nothing to do with you. Nothing at all. In an argument, somebody's hooping, hollering, yelling, screaming, and you standing there blinking those eyelashes, that's on them, not on you. You know, that they're the fool. You are not. You are not. And at the end of the day, it's all about you being able, after you take your shower, you put your rollers on, or you twist your hair, or guys, you slap that stuff on your scalp, you know, aftershave on, you get underneath those covers and it's time to sleep. You don't want to be tossing and turning because of anything that you did. You want to go to sleep and have peace.
Oh, so true.
Yeah, so you have to weigh out what's going to give me the most peace. I
Right.
can let them have it, or I can walk away. And what I tell my daughter all the time, you keep telling all these, you keep letting all these people have it. What you gonna have left when you finish? I'm gonna give them a piece of my mind. How many pieces you think you have to give? I'm gonna get it off my chest. Well, the only person worried about your bra size is you. Okay, so you get it off your chest, you feel better, but the other person don't care. They don't care. So it's all about your mental health. It's all about your heart health, your emotional health. It's all about your spiritual health. So as long as that's intact, then you don't have to worry about somebody else. So if they've done some things that's suspect and they're acting shady, that's when you can always smile and still love them. Because doesn't the word say that when you're good to people that are good to you, that you heap coals of fire on their head? And we don't want to heap coals of fire on someone's head. We just want to make sure that those coals of fire ain't on our head. Again, it is about you being able to be free. Okay. Sheila says, I live in freedom. I don't like to be bound. I don't like a person being able to change my atmosphere when they come around. So when I say I'm sorry, even if I don't do anything, I want it off of me. I hear you, Sheila. I hear you. I hear you. I absolutely hear you. I have had to say I'm sorry to people and watch them like poo in my face, but I was done with it. The word says, bring an offering. Say you're sorry. I did that one time. And the person acted like, listen, no big deal. I could care less. And I was hurt because I made it with my own hands. It was beautiful. I took regular soap and I just wrapped it with all these beautiful ribbons, and I made sure the soap smelled good and the holder was beautiful and it had lace on it. Oh my goodness, it was gorgeous. I brought it to her, said, I'm sorry. She's like, excuse me. I said, God, I'm a fighter by nature. I feel my hand rising up. I see it going to her face, Lord. It's almost a slap, you know, but I had to take that out. I had to take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes just be at peace. You're right, Sheila. Hey, I'm sorry. You should be. You right. I should be. And let me walk away because I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay sorry. I always say humans were a great thing. We just messed up the concept. You know, God never intended us to interact like this. Um, we were supposed to interact in a way that was loving and kind and gentle,
Exactly.
so that
Exactly.
all of us together would be able to live on this big blue ball. You know, I spoke one time, and of course, it was different people of different nationalities. And see, for me, on this big blue ball, we're family because we live together. So I said, "Oh, my sister over here," And the white woman's face frowned up and she turned red. I said, the reason why I called you my sister is because we live together. And people who live together are usually family. And we share this home called Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, and is I had to break it down for her because why you calling me sister? Well, I wouldn't be so offended if someone called me sister. I don't know why a black woman giving you a term of endearment upset you because you're paid to hear the black woman speak.
Hmm.
So you didn't pay for the whole thing. I see. For me, I left there and I remembered it. I left there shocked at her behavior because I'm like, but you paid your money to hear me speak. So there was something that I there was something about what you had heard or whatever that you paid to hear me speak. And when I interacted with you, it was like I offended you. Wow.
It could have been guilt on her part, but anyway.
Yeah, so I continued what I had to do. And, she wasn't one of the people that came up to me afterwards. And that was okay too, because I would call her, you know, if I meet sis again,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And see, one thing people don't understand: some people's job is to do nothing but shell out negativity. That's
Oh,
their job.
oh, come on now. Preach that thing.
And no matter, you can be the best person that you can be, you can
Mm,
be the most spiritual, down to earth person, but you got to remember, just like you said earlier,
yep.
life is a stage and we're all actors in this play.
Yeah.
Everybody got a role to play. But in the same token, if you're going to be the type person and you're spiritual and you're a Christian and that's where your values and standards lie, you can't let the average Tom, Dick, and Harry over here get you out of your character.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember, even the Bible say some people have blood on their hands because of their actions and what they claiming to be.
And some people just they're just bloodthirsty.
Mm-hmm.
They're just bloodthirsty. And they've been doing this for so long, they don't see that this is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, they're always causing some type of drama. And
Exactly.
and it's everybody else's fault. No, love, we were at peace until you walked in the room
Uh-huh.
and had something to say or something to do. And that's part of that Jezebel spirit. And please don't be shocked to know that Jezebel ain't got nothing to do with eyelashes, lipstick, eyeshadow. It is a spirit. It is not in Maybelline, honey. It's in men and women. And
Oh, preach.
if you think it's ugly in women, woo-wee, it is horrific in men. And basically, it is just a spirit that likes to take over. It likes to start craziness and it wants to take your will and make it into theirs.
Uh-huh.
And see, that's why I've learned it's better for me to remove myself from situations. Because, see, I'm going to go there with you. I'm going to cuss you out. You're going to be everything but a child of God. I'm going to be in these chat rooms cussing you out. And I'm not trying to have that type of behavior.
Now, April, you don't do that, do you?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, I
I'm
do.
gonna be in the
And,
chat
and,
room.
see, and I'm trying not to do that anymore.
I understand.
I'm sorry, you took
Now,
me straight out of
Spidey has been knowing me. What, we've been knowing each other close to about 7 or 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord.
Spidey know the stuff that I done went through.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
shouldn't
done
have
went
given.
through, ain't did nothing to nobody.
But Miss April, you said I'll be in these chat rooms. So that means you typing and telling people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I be girl, honey. They everything but a child of God.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I be done took as much as I can take. and then I explode.
Well, let this help you. And I absolutely know because I don't get mad anymore. Um, I'll get angry. And the reason why is because um, my full blown anger is a 5 alarm fire, and there's never an extinguisher to put it out. And God has walked me through um, that being extinguished, and I thank Him because I'll take a room out. If I'm mad, angry, hurt, yeah, I'll level the room. But what I say to you is this: all that God has put into you, okay? You think people ain't gonna dislike you because of it? You think they can't see it? You think they don't know it? They can't feel it? You walk in a room, you think that that spirit doesn't come in there with you? So of course, there's gonna be people that are gonna come against you. The enemy is even going to send people to come against you so that you can think, see, I'm not the woman that I think I am. You absolutely are.
Uh-huh.
So when that happens, just realize, um, people say to you what they think about themselves. So if someone's saying something derogatory to you, they think that of themselves. They think that of themselves. You know, um, someone does something derogatory to you. Okay, I get it. But your retaliation, like I said before, is going to keep you in a tailspin all the time. Because now you done told them off. They coming back. They're going to tell you off. You coming for them again. So it's going to be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. When you can stop it right there at the start. Right there at the start. I was at a funeral because I did not interact with a cousin. She told me she's going to punch me in my face. My response was like, oh, we're going to do that today? Oh, you're a grown woman. This is how you act. Um, you're embarrassing your family. Not once did I cuss her. I didn't raise my voice. She felt that she had done something wonderful because she had cussed out Yvonne, the motivated man. You ain't this and you ain't that. And I mean, everything inside of me wanted to, of course, defend myself and lash out. But the one thing I do know is that God is my vindicator, and I can never do anything to anyone the way He's going to do it. So I would tell you, stop cussing people out in them chat rooms, Miss April.
Oh yeah, I've stopped. I've stopped.
And just, you know
It's a
what?
lot of them I don't even go into anymore.
And
I
you could
I
just
just
tell
leave
them.
them alone.
Yeah, you could just tell them. I had to tell a sister one time, I was like, you know what? You started this. And I walked away. You bring the drama. I don't do that. You brought this drama. You turned the radio up on you turned the sound on this radio station. And then I'm out. I'm out.
Mr. Rail,
Mhm.
I didn't allow anybody to take me out of character, and I had to learn that.
Mhm.
Well, Mr. Rail, um, I grew up where I was just around my family and a few friends. And so coming into adulthood, meeting meeting certain people, and then even coming into these social media groups, you know, um, it was a trip. The
Yeah.
things that people would
Mhm.
say about you, and the things people would do.
It's a public
They would,
forum.
you know, yeah,
It's a public forum. So the
yeah.
thing is that you have put a bullseye on your forehead being in a public forum, and people will take pot shots at you. You know, and they'll say whatever. Like someone
Yeah.
said to me, "Oh, your show is so boring." I wrote back, "Okay, give me some ways to make it more interesting." Pow, diffused it. Give me your ideas. And guess what? I'll take your constructive criticism.
And
I'm not,
me too. That's it. I can take
you know.
constructive criticism. I can give you examples. Like, I was in a music group,
Mm-hmm.
I had been doing my thing, my shows, the way I set them up. I had a woman to come on, and I did a show, and this lady was like, I was copying her style. She came to me, and I'm like, copying your style, woman? I've been on here 5 years doing this. I ain't copied your style. So it was like she was constantly sending me messages in my inbox saying I'm copying her style. So
And
of
all
course
you,
I exploded. Like, I don't have to copy your style. I've been doing this for 5 years. Now go find somebody else to mess with. But things like that. And so
it happens. It
and,
does.
and see,
It
yeah.
does. And it's easy to say that someone tried to take something that you're doing, but we're all out here doing it. Like at the end of every show, I say, keep doing what you're doing until what you're doing gets done. And I was on a roundhouse type event, and everybody had something to say, and one woman said, "Yeah, keep doing." And I pointed straight at the screen like this to let her know, "Don't you finish that." I just did just like this. And she said, "Oh, just keep doing, people. Just keep doing, you know." And then later on, she said to me, I always hear you say that, Yvonne. And when I saw your finger, I realized I was repeating what you said because I keep hearing you say it. And the only reason why she can say is that um, you were copying her style, is that she doesn't know that we all have the same style on this microphone, and that is to speak. That's what we do. We talk.
Yeah. Wow. And I did tell you, I want to give shouts out first to Spider Man. He's been my co-host. Miss Yvonne left away, but I want to thank Miss Terrell. Hey, Miss Terrell, for coming in. Sheila, Black Girl Beauty, a good friend, a new friend I've met. And I want to thank Bonnie Rose. I want to thank Atlas for coming in. I want to thank TY, Michelle Jordan, and then who else was the? Oh yeah, I am Queen. Um, Pan. I can't get up. Um, and keeping up with Queen Tulsa. I want you guys to know. Hold on, I'm gonna give you her email address. So if you want to talk to her in private and get some services, she is a life coach. I don't know. Now, do you charge, or are your services free? Because I do know that we do have to make it out here. Um, yeah, this is her. And so that is her her email address for you to personally get in touch with her if you have some interviews. Uh, interviews. If you have something that you want to talk to her about in private and not over the internet, and just talk to her. And I'm sure, because I'm I am in life coach training now, and I'm pretty sure everything will be confidential. And I can't hear you. We can't hear you, Miss Yvonne.
I don't even see her on the screen.
Yeah, she's there. Yeah, yeah, we can't even hear her. See, let me change. Wait a minute. Okay,
I'm
there
back.
you go.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm back.
There you go.
there you
Okay,
go.
good. All
Okay,
right. So to
okay.
answer your questions, yes, it is a fee for service. So I just, if anyone wants to do life coaching, contact me. We will develop a plan. That I will work within a budget. I'm not here to break anybody's pocket. I'm only here to help if I can. Um, Also, I'm a host. So if you're having an event, you can contact me. I can host your event. I'm a program facilitator. I train the trainers, motivational interviewing, which if you work within an agency or you have an agency and you work with clients, this is something that's very beneficial. It teaches you how to make the person who is in need of service responsible opposed to you being responsible. And I train trainers in a way to do it so that it works for both the agency and the client. So um, my email is my name, Yvonne Mann. That's YVONNEMANN 07 at gmail.com. Any questions you have, I'll be more than happy to answer. And please know I'll add you to my newsletter list. And then you can also be added to my list of my upcoming events. So if you're in the New York, Long Island area, you can join me. Or, like I said, if there's something that you're having and you're doing in your area and you'd like for me to come, we can discuss a fee for that also.
Yes, and I really thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. You don't know how how much joy that brings me that I have people that come and support my shows and are involved in my shows. And I just want to bring positive things, positive people to speak positive things over our lives and and to help us. God knows that I am not perfect and I try to do the right thing. And I probably have did some things that aren't right, but and I have apologized to people. And so I just want to do the right thing in my life. And thank you, Miss Yvonne, for coming on here.
Oh, sure.
And
I
and
thank you for having me. I
and that
appreciate it.
that story, like your parents, they got back together and decided that
To make it work.
they were gonna make it, and you were like their love child.
Mhm.
That song "Love Child." I thought about that, like you were their love child, and I'm pretty sure you were showered with so much love coming up.
Child, I gotta be honest. I was bad as fire. Bad as fire. If I didn't break it, I pulled the skin off of it.
I
If I
can't believe
wasn't
it.
in trouble at school, I was down the street fighting.
I can't
Everybody
believe
on
it.
my block done beat my butt 15 times or more. I was the worst ever. When your mother prays and the last thing she says before she says amen, Lord, I don't know what's going to happen to you, Yvonne, but you have your way. That lets you know I was a rough chick. I was a bad kid. I love my mother dearly. She's 11 years away from 100 and her health is failing. So I try my best to be there for her because she didn't have to deal with my little black butt. She really didn't. And I gave her hell. But as somebody wrote, you're right. None of us are perfect. We're striving to be the best person we are. So as long as you do that, Miss April, you know you're where you're supposed to be.
Okay.
You know you're where you're supposed to be. This is a journey, and you know you're learning. You're learning. What pissed you off yesterday ain't gonna piss you off tomorrow because you're
Right.
learning how. You know you're
Right.
learning how to deal with it. You know, I was my sister. I had her laughing yesterday because there was a workman in my mother's house years ago, and the boy just bothered me so bad that I blew him away in Home Depot. So bad he went to my mother and said, "Oh, Miss Poole, you can't even imagine. Yvonne lit me up in Home Depot." My mother said, I sure can imagine. Yes, I can. She said, "You all right, baby?"
Oh, okay. That was the complete opposite growing up. I did, I was loved. I was the good girl. I tried to do everything to make my parents proud. I mean, I graduated high school 3 years, went to college. I got an associate's, um,
No.
and
I,
it was just
I
an associate's, but I went.
do
Um,
you know when I think about it, my whole life has been hellish. And I believe that was training ground for me to do what God, has me to do. Um, like I said, if I haven't broken it, I pull the skin off of it. If I didn't pull the skin off of it, it had to be stitched up. You know, I was just one of them kids, and I was one of those adults. But God is good, and He blesses me constantly, so I'm able to continue to do the work that He wants me to do. And I thank everybody who came on tonight. Is it DJ Spider-Man?
yes, yeah, he's
Yeah.
my co-host.
Okay, DJ Spider-Man. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
we met in the music world. We've been knowing each other, for
Yeah,
what, 5 to 7 years now. Yeah,
your questions were on fire. Thank you for them. And again, Miss April, thank you for having me on your
oh,
show.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I would love, love, love if you do anything in Illinois, please invite me.
I will.
Please
I
invite me. Yeah, because the world's opening back up again. They're lifting the mask mandate in April. They're
At
doing
least
it
that's what they're saying. But anyway,
right.
Right.
Right. I mean,
I'm
you
going to
have the
see
choice.
what's going to happen because
tomorrow's another story.
Right.
the last time they told us that, we can remove our mask. The
And
stuff went
Omicron.
up. Yeah,
Omicron came, and I'm a second child, so I know that second kid don't care. And Omicron came in here and was like, "I'm gonna tear this joint up," But at least Omicron is a variant that comes in quick, leaves quick, and it doesn't kill you. It just makes you feel really, really, really bad. So, hopefully, prayerfully, in April when we start lifting these masks, that we will see some type of hope. You know, um, I never thought in my lifetime I'd see a complete shutdown, and it wasn't just Long Island, it wasn't just New York, it wasn't the 50 United States. I'm sorry, 51. If y'all don't know, yes, Puerto Rico is a Commonwealth. Um, it was the whole world. It was the whole world just shut
and then
down.
you're right there in New York
You
where it
know,
was so
just shut down.
bad. What was it like to know that all of these people was dying? Because y'all had the highest
Yeah.
death rate. They didn't even have places to put all of the bodies at.
Yeah, and my apostle had COVID in March. He was the first person that left out of St. Joseph Hospital in Bethpage alive.
Mm.
The first
Wow.
one. Yeah, he everything they was doing, they couldn't get him to breathe, and senior pastor Gail Brown said, "Don't put him on the ventilator," but they had lost connection. And from him being wheeled from his room to the next ICU room, his lungs opened up. And that's when he started breathing. He was talking about it Sunday, and he said it's because of the prayers of everyone that was praying for him. because she said she was driving him to the hospital and he literally was turning blue in the car.
Mm.
Yeah. So it was really something. They talk about Cuomo, but if it wasn't for what Cuomo did, the rest of the United States wouldn't have had a template. You know, um, he set the pace, and I'm glad that he was in office at the time. You know, um, it was really rough. My
Oh
aunt
yeah,
was
yeah,
in
yeah.
there.
Como did a good job. I have to give him that much respect, and
He
it's
did.
unfortunate that some of these men, I don't know what's going on with with them trying to come after some of these men that I thought have done good jobs. And I do think that Como did a good job with the
Yep.
city of New York, uh, with COVID, with the high numbers, with everything he did.
I think if we would have stayed in a little bit longer, it would have benefited us, but I think we ran outside too quick. We were too quick. We didn't want to stay inside anymore. And I get it. I definitely get it. You know, now that we're going outside, we got to get rid of these COVID pounds because I already had pounds. I didn't need to add no more. So I need to take off what I added and then work on the pounds I already had. So, the good thing about COVID was COVID allowed us to think about what was really important to us, and it gave us time to work on stuff. Like my show was never as good as it is now because I had time to work on it, you know. So if we use code, we have to take a bad situation and make it work for us, you
Right.
know. And so if we do that, we'll always come out victorious. Always, always, always.
Okay. Well, I thank you for coming on, and I thank everybody that supports me. And you have her email address.
Mhm.
I thank you, Spidey, for coming in. God bless you all. Did anybody want to give closing statements?
Yeah.
Did anybody want to give any closing statements? Okay. Well, this is April Showers, and I'm out. Everybody be blessed. Be the best that you can be. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.